All right, guys, I cannot believe it is halfway through September, and I appreciate you being here. We're going to keep this to try to 30 minutes is always the goal. But I wanted to start off with some recognition. And of course, if anyone else has any recognition, feel free to unmute and share. But I'm going to start off with sharing that it is week 2 of Gut Protocol. So shout out to all the girls doing that. I'm super proud of them. We have a message thread going. So if you are not in it and you're doing Gut Protocol, just let me know and I'll add you. That's been like something that's super helpful. And I think going into the winter seasons, we're going to continue to implement because I find that when you are more connected to the team, and for those of you that are partners, when you're more connected to your challengers, we're more likely to do the things right on a regular basis. So super proud of you. Also, we have the free group kicking off tomorrow. So it doesn't matter if you are a challenger or partner. I invite you to invite any friends that want to try out some of our workouts. We're going to have some tailgate recipes in there, as well as a focus on mindset, since I know for me, transitioning to the fall is like major seasonal depression. I love summer and I just really struggle with that. So I'm excited to bring some mindset tools to the forefront. If you have any friends that want to join, they just need to sign up for the free trial. So make sure you connect with your partner to get that set up. And shout out to Rachel and Jamie who have been putting that together. They put in a lot of work. So it's not too late to invite. So if you have any friends that want to try stuff out for free for a week, bring them on over. And then the last recognition thing I wanted to share is congratulations to Allie. She hasn't really shared this publicly yet, but she achieved a big milestone in her business for this year with her team. And so she will be actually going to Las Vegas in February to represent her team as a part of the New Leader Conference, which is something that you can only earn once as a partner. I went back in 2017 and it was definitely one of the most special experiences because it's a small group of new leaders that really get to have special training. They do live workouts with some of the trainers, which she'll find out who that might be come February. If she doesn't already know, maybe, yeah, I didn't think so. But it's a really special experience because you only go once, whereas our other rewards trips and our other summit is every single year. And we all have the opportunity to go to that. So I'm super proud of her. It's something that's been on her vision board for a long time. And she wants to share anything more about it. Feel free.
So all I was going to say is it's been on my vision board for 3 years now. And it's one of the only things I've not checked off my vision board, like short-term goals. And so it's just very surreal and watching your actions pay off, right? And so make the vision board. It really does help you manifest. Like I envisioned myself being in Vegas in February, and I envisioned it every single day, and that has propelled me forward like nothing else. So manifest your dreams, and don't be afraid to you speak them out loud and manifest them.
Yeah. And I think it's important, like consistency over time, right? Like it's really important for you guys to see not just one person achieve things. And I think this is proof, especially for those of you that are moms, that you can do that too. And, Allie just started as a challenger of mine. She rocked 80-day obsession and fell in love with it. And I kept bugging her and was like, you'd be great at this. And she kind of sort of did it. But really, the past 3 years, she has truly committed. And it's just been awesome to see her create more freedom for her family and more like fun girl trip experiences that she's going to now get to go to. So she'll share more about that, but I wanted to make sure I shouted you out. Any other recognition anyone wants to share?
I want to shout out Danielle for still having conversations, pushing for Success Club for September. She's a couple girls that are joining the free group, and then a girl inviting her friends. So paying it forward. And Laura, and I think it's Megan, is iPhone 10. I'm almost positive it's Megan, but shout out for both being on here. Hi. Both being on here on the live call.
Yes. Super proud of you guys being here. Okay, just a few other announcements and then we'll get into it. So I said the free group starts tomorrow. It's not too late to invite. Also, for October coming up, it'll be the MBF Muscle Burns Fat Super Block. So just a reminder, if you're not on your monthly shipment, make sure that's set so that you get your super block for free, because it's really silly to pay for a super block. I personally have fallen in love with the super blocks. To me, they're like an added bonus for staying on my Shakeology. I love the playlist. I think that everybody should be doing them. It's like a whole different experience than just doing a program, in my opinion. So reminder for that. And then also, we haven't really talked about this, but there's going to be a new mind and body block. So you guys might be used to seeing On Body every month. In addition to the super blocks, there's also like an all body block, an iron block, a bike block. Now we're going to have a mind and body block, which I think is really cool, especially for those that are battling injuries, or maybe they don't want to do a super intense program. Maybe they're pregnant. Maybe they're coming back from, not being able to work out for some sort of health reasons. It's going to have a bar and Pilates base with also a lot of mindset tools integrated. So I think, again, that really goes along with our free group this month in talking about more mindset. And I love that our company is bringing that to the forefront, because I know for me, like, mindset has been everything over the past couple of years. So just wanted to point that out. It will be available same day that all the other blocks are available, October 2nd. Any other announcements, Sally?
Laura, I just wanted to answer your question from the chat. So the link was posted in, I'll share it to the new partners pod. It was posted in the regular partners pod earlier today, but I'll share it for you. And then it'll be the same thing where they have to answer the questions, and then it'll open up tomorrow. But yeah, I'll send it to you in the new partner pod once the call's over.
Yeah, thanks for bearing with us. We've had some life stuff going on. And as a reminder for the free group, they'll need to sign up with the free trial for Body, so they have access to all of the tools we'll be referencing throughout the week. So just a reminder on that. Any other questions? All right, so tonight's call is going to be pretty open-ended. What I did is kind of write down some questions that I thought about might be helpful. And maybe it's more of an open forum for us all to share, because this is going to be recorded. So, everybody that's not here should also hear this information, because I think we don't talk about nutrition enough. I think for a lot of us, we nail to some extent getting on a consistent routine with our workouts. We fall in love with a program, like that becomes a little bit easier. But when it comes to nutrition, to me, that's really tied to mindset. Like, those things really go hand in hand. So I wanted to kind of kick off a conversation. This is not going to be me talking. There's no slides or anything like that. Is, what does all in on nutrition mean to you? And I'll kind of share my thoughts on that, and then maybe we can jump in and share it around. So for me personally, all in on nutrition looks different in every season that I'm in. So I usually think about, like, okay, when I'm approaching a new program, such as Gut Protocol, does it make sense for me to do it with the team, or does it make sense for me to create a group of my own at a different time that more aligns with me? So for me, September worked really well because I really didn't have a lot of obstacles. Like, I wasn't traveling a lot. I didn't have everything against me. There wasn't a lot of like outside things that were temptations. Whereas I know for October, I have my best friend's wedding. I'll be gone for 5 days. Like, there's just some other things going on that I wasn't going to not drink alcohol at my best friend's wedding, right? But that isn't so hard for me. What's harder for me is really honing in on the protein and the vegetables, which I think we probably all can relate. So for me, all in nutrition has to align to the season that I'm in, and it has to be done with a group of people. Because if I'm doing it by myself, I'm not going to do it. I'll start talking in my head throughout the week. It's the same thing with the 3-day refresh. Like, I'll get to day 2 and be like, well, it's okay if I do this. Like, it's not that big of a deal if I have the carb, or it's not that big of a deal if I have a drink at work, or whatever it might be. Whereas if I'm doing it with a team, and that's why I'm so active in our message pod for Gut Protocol, it's not even so much for the challengers. It's honestly for me, because I need to check myself. So for me, there's been different programs throughout the years that have worked really well. Gut Protocol has been one of them. And it changes throughout the season. So I'd love to hear from you guys what has worked for you nutritionally, and maybe what does all in look like for you.
So for me, so I'm currently doing gut protocol-ish is what I'm going to say. So last week I didn't stick to the containers completely, but I made sure I had my 6 servings of vegetables, only 2 carbs, and minimal processed or additional added sugar. So mine's a little bit altered, like not following the straight guidelines, but that's okay for me right now because it's very hard with 2 little ones at home and a husband who are not eating the same way I am. And I'm doing a sheet pan recipe series on Instagram, which is hard to make gut protocol friendly. It's where I am right now, and that's okay. And I've accepted that. And guess what? In 2 weeks, I'm still down 8 inches. So I don't hate it, right? So for me, it's really adjusting to your season of life and to where you are, but still following something, right? So like if you, after your kids go to bed, you sit down and eat a whole box of cereal, well, that's not following any kind of nutrition plan that I know of, right? So it's really just realizing what you're doing. This is off my train of thought, but I saw this reel a couple days ago, and it was like, why is it now that when you eat fruits, vegetables, and lean protein, people think you're dieting?
Yes.
Right? Like that's normal food. That's how effed up our society is, that we eat so much processed junk that it's weird when you eat fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. So again, it's what your body needs. Your body doesn't need a bowl of ice cream. It tastes good and it helps here, right? It hits those dopamine receptors in your brain and makes you have happy chemicals, and it makes you feel good. But so does fueling your body with healthy foods. So when I look at it that way, and I look at something like, this ice cream bar would taste really good right now, but is it really gonna help me long term? No. So I put it down, and I might be mad in the moment, but it does feel good knowing that you overcome that mental obstacle of wanting that ice cream bar. So long story short, I usually follow Portion Fix-ish. Again, like I don't really measure in the containers every single day, but I use measuring cups that are the similar, like quarter cup, half cup, etc. So I use the containers without the containers. But I've done that for ever, I would say, like for the past 3 years. Biggest tip I can give you is meal prep everything over the weekends. Like I cut up our fruits, our veggies, make a couple different meals for lunch, and that's that. And it definitely helps me with my busy life with kids. And plus there's like, my kids are going to go pick like cantaloupe out of the fridge or cucumbers instead of going to grab fruit snacks. Not always, but it does work often.
Is there anything anyone else wants to share and unmute? What's working for you nutritionally lately in your season?
Danielle, share about your frozen crock pot. Share about your frozen crock pot stuff.
Can y'all hear me? Okay. So I follow this girl on Instagram. She literally makes up this meal, and like she puts all of the ingredients in it and puts it in a big old gallon Ziploc bag, and then she just freezes it. And literally the night before that you want to make it, just put it in the fridge, and then you can throw it in the crock pot like the next morning. And it's so easy. So good. So yeah, that's my little take. I can send her to you guys if you guys want to see it. She does all kinds of stuff, and I'm pretty sure she's actually a body partner as well.
Rachel wants to know what her name is.
No, let me tell you. Hold on.
And something else has helped me that I just thought of with the crock pot meals is I've been subbing in, like, instead of brown sugar, I do coconut sugar. Instead of regular flour, I do gluten-free flour. Instead of like other sweeteners that are maple syrup or honey. So I do easy swaps that are like 1-to-1, and that's easy for me too, because I do feel better doing that instead of like 8 tablespoons of butter and something. So that's helped me as well. And my kids will still eat it. They don't know the difference.
I think that tip right there is like gold, because when you're talking about desserts, one thing that I've been doing on Gut Protocol is a Shakeology mug cake, because I love dessert after dinner. And I know Rach has been doing it pretty regularly too. And a dash of peanut butter on top and let it melt for a little bit. It is like golden. And I never have made those before in 9 years, guys, of drinking Shakeology. Like, why not? I don't know, because Allie has told me about this many times, but some things just take you a while to catch on. So that's like an awesome other way to get your shake in if you don't feel like having a cold shake as the winter comes again. So for me, instead of like, I can't have dessert or I can't have this, because I think a lot of times we go on these programs and think that way. It's more so, what can I find that will feel the same way, but will serve me in a better way of feeling after I eat it, if that makes sense. It's kind of one of the reasons, like, I used to have bagels for breakfast every single day. It was like my easy grab and go. Now I'll make oatmeal with peanut butter, a dash of agave syrup, and fruit on top. And I have it every day. And it's like, I love it. And that's something I took from Gut Protocol last time. So I know I love Brooks on these calls. It's so cute. Rach or Laura, or Megan, do you guys want to share anything? We're talking about like what nutrition means all in for you. And we kind of talked about like, depending on the season, what that looks like. How are you kind of making your nutrition routine work? Just an open-ended forum.
So for me, I follow the 2B Mindset nutrition plan. So for me, what that meant for me was completely cutting out sodas, because I was a Dr. Pepper drinker. So now all I drink is water. And then I try to drink, I think, about 64 ounces in a day. And mostly vegetables. Honestly, I've kind of found it a little bit easy, because I just love vegetables. So it wasn't really that hard for me. It is the dessert part that kind of gets me a little bit though. So I just have to get on this Shakeology dessert trend. But otherwise, it's been fairly easy for me. So yeah.
I can also share, first off, good job getting rid of Dr. Pepper altogether. That's
It's
amazing.
huge. And a money saver, honestly, I'm sure.
Yeah. Dude, I had a weird dream about Dr. Pepper the first week that I stopped drinking it. It was weird. But yeah.
That's amazing.
So I'm a Diet Coke drinker, recovering addict, I guess I would say. I used to wake up in the middle of the night craving it. Like I would like pop, I'll never forget, I was at Matt's house before we were obviously married. And I woke up and like popped open a Diet Coke, and he's like, "Are you drinking a beer in the middle of the night?" I'm like, "No, it's just a Diet Coke." So I totally understand. But I will send y'all my sweet treat swap freebie that I have that has a lot of fun dessert, easy and fun dessert recipes that are healthy. And I'm adding more to it. So as I add it, I'll email it to you. But I will send that out after the call to everyone.
We should also post there's a quiz that you can take now on Body in the Hub. I think half the time there's so many resources sometimes that it's hard to know where they are or that they're there. So that's why these calls are really important, that we're all sharing the tips that are working for us. Because yes, there's resources outside of Body, but also there's so many inside that we have the value right here. We just have to use it, right? So there's a quiz you can take that will ask you about your sweet cravings and stuff like that. And it will give you recipes for a specific flavor of Shakeology of a ton of lists of desserts you can make, which has been really cool to try some different things. I just find the mug cake is very easy. It takes 2 minutes to make and just like in and out, good to go. Rach, did you want to share anything? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Sure. Yeah. Nutrition, meh. It is what it is because I have a 3-month-old. So like anything that I can prep in advance and just heat up is amazing. Last week I prepped all on Monday because my husband was off. And so I had the time, I had other eyes on the baby. So I could just stay in the kitchen. But I honestly did it in his nap time period. I was on a mission and I got it all done. So that was great. But this week, I'm trying some other recipes from the Gut Protocol cookbook that I just got. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to make them for us. So we normally do HelloFresh for dinners. And it was about $100 a week for 4 meals for 2 people. And so I'm going to try to see how our money goes with me making meals again and using like the gut healthy recipes because I mean, if they're good and he'll eat them, then it's better for all of us. So, something that I found was I'm not actually eating all of my containers like I feel like I should be, but I do end up eating more proteins, just because I'm breastfeeding. So I need to make sure my proteins are up. But other than that, it's hard to get all the food in. Sometimes I forget to eat because my mom life, like that's just what your brain is going towards. But I do start work next month, so I'm curious to see how I can like transition all of that on top of it. But we'll see. One day at a time. That's how I go.
Super proud of you.
Thanks.
I would say also another tip is for sure I make crock pot buffalo chicken a lot. I'm actually going to put it in the crock pot after this. It's literally just chicken breast, sriracha, and like whatever spices you want to do. I'm super duper basic. And because if you use the buffalo sauce, there's like a lot of other processed ingredients and stuff like that. So I don't do anything super crazy, but that and bag salads make my lunches super easy. I don't have to think about it. I leave the bag salad at work in the fridge and it lasts me like 2 or 3 days. So simple, easy. Again, you don't have to think about it.
Danielle, why do you feel like you're having trouble getting your water in? Like, where do you find yourself struggling with your water?
So my issue is I think I get tired of drinking like plain water and I miss flavor, I guess. And then of course, I
Throw
work.
some lemon slices in them.
Huh?
Throw some lemon slices in them. That's what I've been doing. I do lemon slices, let it sit overnight, and then I'll have 2 containers already ready of like the beach body containers. I fill
Okay.
2 slices of a lemon, fill it up with water, and have 2 of them. So that way I have at least 2 water that I can drink the next day. And
Maybe I
it tastes
should try that.
I was gonna say like lemon, strawberry, cucumber, any mint, anything like that, and like muddle it up in the water. And it makes a big difference. Like it makes, but I agree with Laura. I use a big Stanley cup and I challenge myself to 3 a day. And it's like it's a race for myself. Like I feel accomplished when I drink it. And that's just my personality. But I have to finish it. And like I'll be chugging before bed if I don't finish it because I can't go to bed without finishing my 3.
I had my girls that are on the show. I was teachers, and I'm like, okay, we're doing a water challenge today, just randomly. And we were texting back and forth all day long, like, hey, I'm at 40, what are you at? I'm at 60, what are you at? Kind of thing. So if you struggle, like just have someone, hey, let's do a water challenge today, just randomly, and see if you guys can keep up with each other.
So many great tips. Look at us solving problems, right? I love that. That's what these calls are for. Okay, well, one other thing, and then we can kind of wrap up. What other recipes have you guys been trying lately? Is there anything that's been working for you that you've been loving? I personally tried the chicken salad from the Gut Protocol cookbook my first week, and that was very good and very easy. I'm not a big like recipe person, to be honest, but I did make spaghetti squash with meatballs tonight. I'm like very basic. So if you guys have any recipes that you've come across that you've loved and that have worked for your families, we'd love for you to share.
All right, I'll give you my top 5 because I'm a recipe person, as we all know. My favorite is from the first Fixate cookbook. It is the turkey sloppy joes. I make it almost every week for meal prep. Everyone at work makes fun of me, but it's amazing, especially over spaghetti squash. That's my go-to for this week. In the Gut Protocol book, the sweet and spicy meatballs are amazing. They're a little spicy, but they're good. And then the edamame black bean salad is super yummy to get in your red bees. And then the edamame crunch salad is also great. And then my last one, Mexican taco meat from the first Fixate cookbook. Life changing. I'm the recipe snob. I love all recipes. But yeah, the Fixate, if you don't have the Fixate cookbooks or the Gut Protocol cookbook, you should add it to your next order because they're all amazing. And I use them all the time.
And they fit with every program, so it makes it super simple.
Even if you're doing TB Mindset, it also has like the TB Mindset breakdown in it.
Okay, if you haven't tried the must-have meatloaf, it's really good. I made it last weekend and it lasted me a few days this week. It has a lot of vegetables in it, just in the mixture itself, but that's really good. The breakfast sausage is really good. But I'm excited. I'm trying the butternut squash pesto pizza this week.
Ooh.
The Gut Protocol book. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, Autumn doesn't play around, like all her recipes with her brother. So if you don't know, her brother, Bobby, has worked with her to create all the Fixate recipes and all of the Gut Protocol recipes, which I think is just super cool.
And he's like a Michelin star chef. Like he's like next level chef. So they're like the chocolate pie. There's a chocolate pie in Gut Protocol that I've heard is amazing, with avocados. Rachel, did you make it?
I can't have that.
No, but I've made a tofu chocolate pie. I think it's a Fixate recipe. It actually tasted really good, y'all. Like I was kind of hesitant, but it was really good. I don't know if it's the same ingredients. I think the one I did had tofu in it. But it was really
And
good.
then the last time I did Gut Protocol, I made the chicken a la king, which is like with cauliflower. The sauce is made of cauliflower. It's amazing too. So good. And I don't really like cauliflower, just to add that in. But it doesn't taste like it.
Any other fun recipe tips? Cool. I would encourage y'all as you make things, definitely post them in the hub because you never know. I mean, we just got like 10 of them from one call, which I think is awesome, but you never know what it might spike an interest in you to try. And I think sometimes it's just like seeing someone else do it and like knowing it's worth it. Thanks for having on, Rach. But I appreciate you guys being on. Next week's call will be a partner call about storytelling. So I'm really looking forward to jumping into that with Allie and kind of teaching and mentoring on that. But I think the biggest thing with nutrition, and especially going to this week, I would challenge each of you to integrate a mindset tool that we talk about in the free group. That's one of the things I wanted to kind of end with, because nutrition is a lot harder when your mindset isn't right? Like if you're willing to be curious and adventurous and try new things and break habits, like that takes hard work mentally too. So just kind of a reminder that there's a ton of mindset resources now. When you go onto the Body app, just to remind you, I know I've gone through this on a call before, but when you go to the Body app at the top, there's 3 things. There's fitness, nutrition, mindset. When you go to the mindset tab, there is a new like kind of mindset block every single month. And I know Megan does them pretty religiously. They're really short videos that can kind of help you have a certain focus each month and has made it really a permanent basis on how she works her mindset. For me, I do the bar blend. I am mantra meditations every morning. That's like the first thing I do when I get up. I don't check social media. I don't check the messages. I do 4 minutes for me. It's super duper simple. I do it when I put my workout clothes on. those are kind of the things, in addition to like reading for 10 minutes, that I think we just forget that are there. And so I wanted to remind everybody about them, because those little things really make a difference. And as someone who like had a pretty tough week this week, I'm reminded how much our systems and our routine keep us grounded through times that are challenging. So as you go into the fall and winter, I really encourage each of you to keep making mindset just as important as all the other components, which I know can be a lot at times, but I think just making these part of your routines simply makes them easier to do, if that makes sense. Anyone else have anything else to add? Awesome, guys. Well, we kept it to 30 minutes. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. And I will share the recording in the hub so you can tag your girls and go to sleep. I will see you on Zoom tomorrow. Love y'all. Have a great week.